Okay, so we're going to move on to our next example on our law of cosines video. This is the one called example 1b, and remember I had said in the last video, but it's not in you guys' textbook, so you want to make sure that you're following the measurements that I put on the board. This triangle, instead of calling it ABC, because I want to get you guys used to knowing how to modify the law of cosines formula no matter what diagram you're given, what letters you're given. This one is X, Y, Z, like so. And this time we know that the measure of angle X is 45 degrees. XZ is 11, which remember is the side that is opposite angle Y, so we're going to call that little y. XY is 25, and that is the side that is opposite angle Z, so that's going to be called little z. And what we're going to need to figure out is this third side here, which is the unknown, okay? So as we think about our formula that we had before for law of cosines, we want to modify it and make sure that we are putting the letters in the right spots, obviously. So if we're finding X, the one that you're finding should always be the one that's on the left-hand side by itself, okay? So we're going to start by putting X squared here, and this is the form of this equation that you want to use for this particular example. So again, if we use X squared, just like before where A squared was paired with the angle that you were taking the cosine of, which was A, you want to do the same thing here, okay? So if this is X squared, then that means down at the end of this equation here is going to be cosine of capital X. That's angle X. The rest of the variables just get filled in any order you want to, really. You can have Z squared and then Y squared, or Y squared and then Z squared. Typically, your book and most examples that you're going to see are going to put them in alphabetical order. So that's what I'm going to do. So we would have X squared equals Y squared plus Z squared minus 2YZ cosine of X. And remember, all of these pieces are multiplied and glued together with multiplication. And then all of these constant pieces are separated, okay? So again, whatever the corners of your triangle are, that becomes your modified version of your law of cosines. So now we get to plug and chug. We've got all the variables we need. Let's just plug it on in. So if we're using this formula, the first thing we're going to have is X squared will equal Y squared, which is 11 squared, plus Z squared, which is 25 squared, and then minus 2 times 11 times 25 times cosine of 45 degrees. So if we move aside here, this is our equation, okay? And we're going to plug in and now simplify. We've got X squared equals, that's 121 plus 625. And again, you're going to use your calculator to find all of these little pieces. Or you can use your calculator to do it in really just 2 steps. And again, refer to that TI calculator screen shot video that I gave you guys as well. So that's going to be 2 times 11 times 25 comes out to be minus 550 in front of cosine of 45 degrees. Simplifying a little further, we're going to have X squared. Adding these 2 constants only. Don't try to add this one. This 550 is glued to the cosine of 45. You can't put it into this 3 number contribution there. So we're going to have 746 with just the first 2 numbers added. 746 minus 550 cosine of 45 degrees. And again, got to use my calculator here. So I'm going to go ahead and find an approximation for that. X is approximately 18.9, and we are rounding to the 10th place. Notice in both of these examples that we've done, make sure that's what you round to. And we're always going to ask ourselves, does it make sense? So just like before, we're going to say, is that third side that we just found between the values that it's supposed to be? And the values that it's supposed to be between, remember, are the other two sides that are given to me, either subtracted or added. So if we subtract 25 minus 11, we get 14. If we add 25 and 11, we get 36. And the question is that a true statement? Yes, it is, okay? So that's it, you guys. That's 2 examples completely plugging and chugging through all the way through the law of cosines examples that we have. There's a 3rd example, as you know, in your WISC. You've done the watch. We're at the end of the summarize, and now we're at the Q part. So if you flip that page over, you're going to see a 3rd example that I'm not going to have you watch a video for, but I want you to try it on your own now that you've seen me do this a couple of times. And that's what we'll check out tomorrow in class, okay? So I'll see you later.